Hi friends, this is Sarvajan here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good and safe. And today let us discuss about OSPF LSA types. So this is the architecture where you connected R1, R2, R3 and R4. So R1 I configure in area 1. So this in area 0 and R4 is in area 2. This I'm going to configure as a NSSA area. So this is an R2 is an ABR, area border router, which interconnect multiple areas, right? So let us see the LSA type. First is an type 1 or a router LSA, which is generated by all routers and flooded to routers within a single area. So that is called as a type 1 LSA. So it is generated by a router within a single area. And network LSA is generated by DR in a multi-access network. So in case if there is a network containing more than 3 to 4 routers, one will be elected as a DR, right? And the LSA generated by DR we call it as a network LSA or a type 2 LSA. So once it generates, R1 generates a type 1 LSA, R2 will flood the information to area 0. So here R2 is an ABR. So what is the purpose of ABR? ABR performs the inter-area route summarization. So always keep it in mind, OSPF does not perform summarization automatically. We have to manually enable the auto summarization, right? So it not perform our summarization automatically. We need to do a manual summarization. So what is summary LS? It is generated by ABR. So ABR always performs the inter-area summarization. That means it will summarize routes from other areas. So this will have two networks, right? 1.0 and 2.0. And the LSA generated by ABR, we call it as a type 3 or a summary LSA. So once ABR generate a type 3 LSA, that will flood the information to other areas. That is a summary LSA. And what is an ASBR LSA? ASBR is a type 4 LSA. So assume this R1 I am configuring as an ASBR, that is an autonomous system boundary router, which is redistributing some external routes. So this R1 will generate a type 1 LSA. When it receives the type R2, it will generate a type 4 LSA. So type 4 again it is a summary LSA. It is generated by ABR and it will contain the route to ASBR. It will contain the route to the ASBR that we call it as a type 4 summary LSA. And another LSA we call it as a type 5 LSA, that is also a generated by ASBR and it contains the route to outside network, that is it contains route to the non-OSPF domain. So that is generated by the ASBR. So this is called external LSA. So now let us go to the configuration R1 R2 and I'm going to enable the OSPF routing. So after that I'm going to show the LSA types. So let us quickly configure the OSPF router OSPF 100 and network is 192.168.1.0 followed by 0.0.0.255 followed by area 0, right? So this is in area, this is in area 1. So let us configure as 1 and then let us configure the R2. R2 is a area border router which is going to generate the summary LSA, right? That's a type 3 LSA. So it contains two network 1.0 and 2.0 network. So let us configure that. Go to configuration mode, router OSPF 100 and the network is 192.168.1.0 0.0.0.255. It is in area 1, right? And another one is 2, that is in area 0. And always keep it in mind, one should be the backbone area, and as per the OSPF rule it follows a hierarchical structure. That means all other areas should be always connect to the backbone area, right? So that is the OSPF rule. So that is the reason this I have configured as a backbone area. So area 1 is connecting to area 0 and area 2 is also connecting to the area 0 as per the OSPF rule. So now R2 is an ABR because it is connecting two different interfaces. It has interfaces, one in area 1 and another interface it lies in area 0. So we have configured the area R2 router, that is an ABR router. Now let us go to R3. So R3 has two networks, 2 and 3, right? So let us go to R3 and go to the configuration mode. Router OSPF 100, network is 192.168.2.0 0.0.0.255. Let us see the area, which area it lies. 2 is lies in area 0, right? So 2 lies in area 0 and 3 lies in area 2. And let us see the 3, it lies in area 2, right? So that's the thing I'm going to configure, area 2. So this area I'm going to configure as a NSSA area. I will show how to do that. And now let us go to R4 and go to the configuration mode, router OSPF 100. Let us enable network 192.168. So this is a 3 dot network, right? 192.168.3.0 followed by a wildcard mask. Then I have to follow the area 2, right? Area 2. So I configure the individual routing, OSPF routing, and all the four routers. So now let us check the OSPF database. So I have not done any redistribution. So now let us see the OSPF database. That is a topology database. So let us go to the configuration. Let us go to R1. So it is already established a neighbor relationship. Show IP OSPF neighbor. So it already established. Let us see about R2. I think R2 has two neighbors, right? OSPF neighbor. So this also it is established. Similarly, go to R3. Show IP OSPF neighbor. So this is not yet fully established, still it is in XDOT state, right? So let us see. Show IP OSPF neighbor. Yeah, it also established the neighbor relationship, right? So now all the routers established a neighbor relationship. So now let us check the OSPF database. See, OSP database will show the summary of the entire LSA information, right? So this already show the router link, that is nothing but a type 1 LSA. This is flooded by routers and generated within a single area that we call it as a type 1 LSA. So another thing you have to keep it in mind, in type 1 LSA, both the link ID and the advertising router should be the one and the same, right? So the link ID, and I think the link ID is nothing but it identifies each and every LSA, what we call it as a link ID, and the advertising router is a source router which is advertising this LSA. So since it is advertising its own LSA, we call both a link ID and the advertising router will be the one and the same here in case of router LSA, that is a type 1 LSA. So both link ID is 1.1.1, that is a loopback address, and it has another IP, right, that is 2.1, that is a link ID and the advertising router, and it will show the age of the LSA, how long the LSA age, and it will show the sequence number. Because LSA is flooded throughout the area and each and every LSA it sent, it will assign the sequence number, and this is a reliability checksum, it shows the reliability, and link it will show the link count. So this is the case with router LSA. You are able to see, right, link ID and the advertising router. And let us see about the R2, that is a netlink. So netlink is nothing but a type 2 LSA, what we called as a network LSA, which is generated by DR. DR is nothing but designated router. So already told this, compared to both this IP, this is having the highest IP, and this is the DR LSA. So this DR is generated by network LSA, right? So network LSA is generated by DR, that is R2 is a DR now. So here you are able to see 1.2 as a link ID, and the advertising router is 2.1. So this is the advertising router, and this 1.2 is a network LSA generated by DR, right? So the third thing is summary LSA, that is a type 3 LSA. So each and every R1 router will send a type 1 LSA. When it receives R2, it will generate a ABR, that is a type 3 LSA, and it fled to the other area. So here you are able to see the type 3 LSA. This will have the summary information about two networks. So we're able to see about 2.0 and 3.0. So it has remote networks 2.0 and 3.0, and the advertising router is 2.1, right? This is the source router which is advertising this LSA, and this is the age and the sequence number. So I think you are understanding about type 1, type 2 and a type 3 LSA. So now let us see about the type 4 LSA. So what happened? We will go to this R1. Let us redistribute the loopback interface. So I define the loopback interface, show IP interface brief. So I have defined the loopback interface 1.1.1. So let us redistribute, and router OSPF 100 and redistributed connected subnets. So in this case, R1 will be acting as a ASBR. It is redistributing the non-OSPF route, that is 1.1.1 into a OSPF domain. So now let us check the OSPF database. See, now we're able to see the another LSA that we called as a type 5 LSA, right? We are able to see the type 5 LSA. So what is a type 5 LSA? I already told is a LSA, it is generated by an ASBR, that is the autonomous system boundary router. So what it does normally, it will redistribute the external information, external routing information, that is a non-OSPF routing information into a OSP routing domain. So that we called as an external LSA. So this external LSA is generated by type 5 LSA. What we called as a type 5 LSA, it will show the link ID and the advertising router. So we're able to see, right? Now let us go to R2 and check the routing database, topology database, show IP OSPF database. So let us see for area 0, right? So let us see for area 0. So this is the thing I mean to say, it is what we called as a type 4 LSA, that is a ASBR summary LSA. What does a type 4 LSA? Already told, it will identify, this will send a type 1 LSA, And when it comes, this is the assume this is an ASBR, right? This is your configured as an ASBR. It will send a type 1 LSA. When it comes to R2, it will generate a ASBR LSA, summary LSA. This is the thing you are seeing is that it's a type 4 LSA, and you are able to see the link ID is 1.1.1 and the advertising router is 2.1, right? I think you are following this. And now let us see so we have discussed about the type 1 LSA, network LSA, summary LSA, type 4 and the type 5 LSA. So there is one more LSA what we called as a type 7 LSA. So that is generated by an NSSA ASBR. So this area I am going to configure as a NSSA domain, and this is a ASBR. So what we called as a NSSA ASBR. So this will generate a special type of LSA what we called as a type 7 LSA. So let us quickly configure. Go to the configuration mode and router OSPF 100 area to NSSA. Similar way, let us go to R4. Both are in the NSSA area, right? And router OSPF 100 area to NSSA. Okay, so I have configured this as a NSSA. This I am going to configure as a ASBR. Since it is redistributing the external route. So also let us go for configuration mode, router OSPF 100 redistributed connected subnets. So now show IP interface brief. So this is a loopback address I have defined. So this it has redistributed via this ASBR. So this will generate a special type of LSA what we called as a type 7 LSA, OSPF database. You are able to see, right? So this is the thing I want to say. Since I have configured this area 2 as a not so stubby area, this is a type 7 LSA. So this is a type 7 LSA generated by NSSA ASBR. So when it comes to area border router, it will again convert it into a type 5 LSA. The same LSA will see it as a type 5 LSA. Let us see here. Area border router, show IP OSPF database. See the same LSA, or when it comes to ABR, it will be converted into type 5 LSA. So these are the type of LSA: type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, and this is the type 7 LSA which is generated by NSSA ASBR. And when it comes to when it comes to ABR, this will be converted into a type 5 LSA. So router LSA is generated and flooded within an area. Network LSA is generated by DR in a multi-access environment, and type 3 LSA is generated by ABR, and type 4 and type 5 LSA is generated by ASBR, right? So only difference is type 4 LSA is generated by ABR and it will contain the route to ASBR, and type 5 LSA is generated by an ASBR and it will contain the route to the outside network. And one more LSA, that is a type 7 LSA generated by NSSA ASBR, and when it comes to ABR, it will be converted into a type 5 LSA. I hope you understood. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe me for more videos. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.